Hey, hey, what's going on, family? All right, welcome, welcome, welcome to our Sacred Wednesday Circle, where we gather around that fire of love, clean off our mirror, and reflect that love everywhere we go, huh? Yeah. And to do that, we gather around those timeless teachings and practices that are true then and they're true now, just like the truth of your heart playing the rhythm that your lungs are dancing to. It allows the flower of life, the flow of life called the blood to circulate throughout every aspect of your being, this body, where trillions of cells are taken care of. Ooh. Think about that truth, because that's the truth we're talking about, connecting, for example, to the breath, which we like to do here. So welcome. We're going to tune in and really bathe in this incredibly powerful time in a way where we can receive the guidance, the intuition, the inspiration that allows us to see the miracles unfolding, that is synchronizing time and space to have exactly what we need to serve our soul and exactly what we want to serve our soul. Yeah, that higher aspect of who we are. Palms together. We're going to tune in with the sound AUM from the ancient yogic texts. This is a sound that is said to be the initiating sound of creation coming into existence. So we chant it here as an initiating sound that will vibrate us into the awareness of who we truly are, that truth that moves your heart to that rhythm that is so perfect that trillions of cells are taken care of by the dancing of your heart your lungs on the inhale and the exhale. That truth. We're putting our hands together to connect to that truth as we generate this sound vibration. That truth. You can generate sound. True or false? See? Truth. You can generate that sound. And this sound is the sound that set creation in motion. So the mind can let go and all of the divine intelligence that set you in motion can be cleared and acknowledged and opened so it can fully express. Palms together. Press the thumbs into the sternum. I want you to feel yourself as a vibratory container where you feel your sternum vibrate, let you know your bones are vibrating. You're going into your stem cells and letting them vibrate, and they're going to come out ready to be liver, ready to be gallbladder cells, ready to be vascular tissue, ready to be lung tissue, spleen, pancreas, bones, skin, hair, ready eyes, ready to be you. This spacesuit that holds you. Yeah? Creating your house into a home, y'all. Come on. Palms together, close your eyes. And just keep your eyes closed. I want you to feel this. Lift the muscles of your pelvic floor just slightly. And if it's uncomfortable for you, if you're on your cycle or pregnant, please just imagine these cues that I give you around the muscles of your lower pelvic area as well as the lower abdomen. Right, so for now, just get the feeling of lifting the muscles of the pelvic floor. Such an important action when it comes to elevating the frequency of energy that is said to rest at the tailbone. And then draw the navel point in and up. Just allow yourself to breathe normally, but just feel these muscles. And there's a bundle of energetic channels called nadis that are around that point where you're drawing the navel point, 1.5 inches below the navel, physical navel or belly button. There's this energetic junction, almost like a circuit breaker box in a house or how you tune a guitar. And when you're moving this point in and out or drawing it in, you're tuning all of the strands of energetic cords that are flowing through your body. All these channels, like meridians, they may say in Chinese medicine, nadis in Ayurvedic medicine, but acknowledging this energetic design to your being, because these locks are the key to bringing this energy from the inside, opening it so it flows according to design, and then that opens your awareness of who you truly are. Different than the label of the address of your name, but who you truly are from the eyes of your soul, from the eyes of, if your creator has eyes, right? But from that intelligence. So as we're chanting, lift the muscles of the pelvic floor before the and as you come to the U, ooh, lift the muscles of the navel point. Yeah, just kind of drawing the diaphragm muscles, up as well. And then, and you're drawing the chin just slightly, creating a neck lock, right? So this allows the infinite energy within you to rise. Huh? Okay. Pressing the palms together. Deep inhale, exhale. All on one breath. Inhale. And we'll begin. Lift the muscles of the pelvic floor. Raise the pitch a bit. Last one. Inhale deeply. Hold that breath. Exhale out the mouth. Place the palms up on your lap or your knee, touching the thumb and index finger. This is a position, if you consider each of the fingers as an electromagnetic pulse. When we hold them in a certain configuration, it activates a certain energetic stimulus to the nervous system. And in this case, we are activating the energy of self-knowledge along the lines of knowing our true self that we were speaking about earlier. So close the eyes and just take a few breaths here, experiencing the effect of consciously breathing and generating sound. Sweet. So our topic today, how to navigate through conflict into co-creation with love. So let's unpack that a moment. To consider the word navigate, I had an image when I was thinking about you all and in this journey of life. I had an image of a boat, a ship being in these vast waters. And you are the captain. What next? You have navigational equipment. You have a support system. Maybe you imagine a crew. Maybe you imagine being by yourself. But everything is there. But so now there's considering what the ship represents in the whole image. But ultimately a vessel like this body that will allow you to have an experience. So is it just having the experience of where you are attached to this moment, to this space, to this part of the earth, as in a boat, that part of the earth on water? Is that it? Is that what we come here for? Just that? Maybe some of us do. So we're not looking at that as good or bad, but what we are exploring, keyword, into, is that there seems to be a characteristic of creation that was, if we look at the Ayurvedic or the ancient writings of the sages and what they call the rishis, those that downloaded information from the intelligence of the universe, that there is this energy that they translated as a thought in their writings. I am one, I want to become many. So this is indicating some movement here. The stillness now evolves. They said the stillness was the perfect stillness of consciousness and life force. And then there's this energy. In these particular writings I was reading, there's this energy that showed up as a thought, or they expressed it as a saying, I am one, I want to become many. So this indicates movement. So how do you know someone's alive? Yes. If you've guessed my gestures, answering the question non-verbally, you've guessed correct. Movement equates with life. So how are you going to move? You have this opportunity to be, as the universe was, pure consciousness and prana, to be aware of itself in this perfect stillness and to experience this life. But now to experience the life, there's movement. Another level of experience, yeah? Stillness is a level of experience. Movement is a level of experience. When is it time to move? When is it time to be still? And when you move, where are you going? The idea of navigating is there, that you can receive the information, have the support on where to go. That's the idea. If it's your first time, we have these practices that we're using to develop a relationship. Intuition, inspiration, and synchronicity. We call them our lovers. Yeah. And that's why we are engaging in these practices. So now we've established that we have an opportunity to go somewhere, and therefore that's what navigation is for. That we can navigate consciously, or we can move somewhere consciously. And by navigating, we're consciously moving somewhere. And in this case, we're moving through just being aware of the conflict that shows up when I know I shouldn't eat something, or when I know I should and I'm not moving towards the thing I should, and I'm moving away from it, and I'm moving towards what I know I shouldn't do. There's a conflict there because, one, we know we have the ability to say yes or no. The ground rules. We know we have the ability to cultivate, co-create. Now, how do we navigate into what to co-create? How do we navigate through that conflict where we're listening to others, listening to the past, and the moment is speaking to us about what we need to do? Maybe there's a cough, so there's a motivation to handle the cough and take care of whatever needs taken care of. Now, how do you navigate? No, you know where you need to go, and how do you get there? Maybe there's a situation that comes back from the past, and you've been so involved in navigating to that place of peace, navigating out of the difficulty into more ease. Maybe that's navigating out of not having the money you need and into the ways to cultivate your life and co-create with others so you have the money you need. So maybe time has passed and now an event comes up that happened 10, 20 years ago, and it requires your attention. It requires your navigational skills. So today we're going to talk about the ways to cultivate those navigational skills. We're going to touch on three very important ways to cultivate your connection to the power of co-creating with love. How do you connect to this infinite creative energy that emerges out of this love? Now, so for us, love is consciousness and life force, period. It comes to us. We don't have to exchange something with it. We don't have to give it flowers, give it that kiss that just lights us up. We don't have to give it anything. It is giving everything to us freely. Take an inhale. Exhale. The only challenges you may have are those that are physical, mental, or spiritual. But the breath and consciousness is there. And now we have an opportunity to navigate and co-create, so we allow this love to flow. It already knows how to heal. Yeah, it already knows how to restore. Right? It already knows. It already knows the creative process because it's going on right here. What we're doing is guiding our mind to the technology that will allow us to navigate. All right? So we want to use as a grounding, energy before we go into the three things. Well, I guess this is one. Studying the ways of the ones that have gone before us, that have dealt with these same situations. Yeah. Leaning on them. Leaning on not just them, as in what they say, but leaning into this current of teachings and practices that you could see flow throughout all cultures, throughout all ages. The same thing is being said. So we're going to go into this time maybe 10 to 5,000 years ago, when these teachings were very prevalent. These teachings about our oneness, these teachings about our connection to each other and the source of creation. We're going to lean into the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic with our house textbook, if you will, from Prayer of the Cosmos by Neil. I always want to mix his name, two last names. Neil Douglas Klotz, or Klotz. And this is the sixth line. And we have traveled from our oneness with the source in the first line, our Father which art in heaven. In Aramaic, it is the great parent of creation that dwells at the center of his creation. Right? And with that next line, right, we recognize, thy kingdom come. Right? We recognize that there's this energy of, feeling this name vibrating as we, before thy kingdom come, as we say, hallowed be thy name. And we prepare a space in that second line. And then we recognize the presence, right? The presence, the king's dominion, as a higher vibrational way of living. King as a higher vibrational way of living, different than hierarchy. Higher vibrational way, this essence, right, of knowing, of being pure consciousness, yeah? And then we come into that Shakti, that queenly energy, that mother energy. So that fourth line is heaven comes to earth. That will be done on earth just as it is in heaven. So we recognize that there's that oneness too. In this physical experience, there's a oneness. As we birth into creation, we realize this birthing into creation, we're one. But now, as we have this physical experience navigating, as we have this physical experience, we are coming into that flow, right? That flow of oneness between heaven and earth. And then we move into that awareness that since there's that oneness, everything is taken care of. And then therefore it is appropriate for us to let go, as they say, heartbeat by heartbeat, and this comes to the sixth line. Or we let go of the debts, our debts, as we let go of the debts that others have, with us. So we let go in that way. We forgive our debts as we forgive those that have debts, our debtors. So just sit with that for a moment. Just consider your life. Consider the journey of your life. And we might label them mistakes that you've made, or any conflict you've been involved in. And just consider, one, the way to navigate is to study, to open yourself up to the ways that others have navigated through conflict. So that deals with the energy that comes from the outside and the ways you can learn and observe. And now inside. Now you can begin to connect directly to the source. Directly to the source of your ability to navigate. Just like when you are in your ship at night and you have to look at the stars. But those stars are guiding you like the teachings. But then there's your connection to where you're going, so you know which star to look at. And that knowing where you're going, we're saying, is fed to you by that love. So you breathe and you connect. And you open up your nervous system to connect to what? Connect to the infinite intelligence that is moving your heart in the perfect rhythm, that is allowing your lungs to flow. That's on your autonomic nervous system. You're not controlling that. So why would we attempt to control another that we are in conflict with? Let us come to the space inside and co-create an opportunity to let go and be the same love that's taking care of us, the same love that's taking care of those that we're in conflict with. So as you're in this first realm of knowing where you're going, and in that knowing, we're talking about knowing your needs. Knowing your needs. So when you know what you need, then you can sit and listen. And the breath can activate that sitting and listening. And then you can hear, follow the North Star. You can hear, follow the planet Venus. Right? You can hear, follow the constellation of the Big Dipper. Follow Orion's belt. You can hear which way to go. Because the knowing is not just with the mind and what you can see on the horizon and you don't see any land. The knowing is in the way the body is showing you the devotion of creation. It's showing you the way creation operates because you are an embodiment of the universe. So first there is exploring, right? We can almost put it in a certain order like this, because there's a foundation to it, So the emergence of creation came out of the stillness of life force and consciousness. So that is the first step. Come still. become still. Become still. When you're facing the conflict, become still. Then tap into the breath. Tap into the love that is coming to you. Right? And then thirdly, allow it to reveal what is your role in establishing balance. And then you chant and vibrate yourself. Not like you want to get where you're going, meaning resolving the conflict, but you are experiencing the journey of navigating. If you are plotting on your map, or if you are looking for the star and being with the flow of the waters, and sometimes going through the storms, but you still got your focus on the breath that is the inner star. Yeah? Okay. So, yeah. First, draw in this universal love that comes in through your breath. That love that contains the consciousness and life force. Then, move into, pardon me, I stepped too a little too quickly. First there is coming still, us embodying the flow of universe, creation, creating itself. We step into that co-creative signal that we are given of how to operate, how to navigate. Yeah, we come into the stillness. Then we activate our connection to the love that gives us life. Consciousness and life force comes to us, takes care of everything. Let's allow it to do so. I mean everything. Allow the mind to melt into the infinite nature of our being, and allow this energy to flow infinitely as it is designed to do. It's designed to be. Thirdly, once we become aware of how we need to resolve the conflict within, and how we need to present ourselves if there's a conflict with another, from that place of love, we vibrate. So now we open up the channels. It allows us to connect and see someone else's need beyond our own disappointments, our own frustrations, our own sense of betrayal. We begin to see someone else's need. But first we begin to see what we need, and we can articulate it with love. Compassion, because we also understand the pain of someone else not having their needs met. So I'm going to go into a little practice of opening up the central channel so that we clear any stagnation around the thoughts or the energy forms that contributes to thinking in a way that we individualize ourselves, cutting ourselves off to the infinite flow of love that prevents us from seeing another person's needs and being able to compassionately connect to another person's needs while we also maintain an awareness of our own needs. And we can draw boundaries, and we can create containers that allows us to honor who we are, but at the same time allow love to flow and support another person while we are being supported. Yeah? Okay. And that requires a co-creative process, and I think that's what we're here on Earth to learn. If we look at nature, it's going on in nature. It's only humans or these two-legged beings that have created a way of interacting with Earth that is very individualized based on how much you accumulate. And so you accumulate beyond what you need. And then therefore it becomes challenging to see the needs of another, because there's this momentum and motivation to navigate towards collecting and gathering. All right. Let's drop into our breath. Come with your spine nice and straight. Hands come to the knees. We're going to rock the crest of the pelvis forward and rocking back on the tailbone. All right, creating a movement of the spine, movement being life, spinal flex. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. And really allow the breath to be strong and vigorous as long as your lower abdomen allows. Really feel the movement of the spine and move with a sense of life being energized. A strong breath balanced with a strong, inhale and exhale. Yeah? Feeling the movement is initiated by the breath. Mind is focusing on the breath is moving the body. Feel the movement of the belly button towards the spine as you exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale nice and tall. Lift the muscles of the pelvic floor. Draw the navel point in and up if it's comfortable for you. Draw in the chin slightly. Exhale out the mouth. Count in breath. Inhale deeply. Nose. Hold. Lift the muscles of the pelvic floor. Draw the navel point in and up. Tuck in the chin. Count in breath out the mouth. Last time. In the nose. Lift. Pelvic floor. Draw navel point in and up. Tuck in the chin. Count in breath out the mouth. Allow your breath to be normal in and out the nose. Palms face up, touching the thumb and index finger. Like so. And allow the breath to be long and deep. Really focusing on lengthening it as you exhale slowly but deeply. Long, deep breathing activates the longest nerve, cranial nerve that flows from the brain to the body, the vagus nerve. Helps you to release patterns that are counterproductive for your health and well-being, as well as counterproductive for creating healthy relationships, where there's a balance in the exchange of energy. At the foundation of a healthy relationship is acknowledging needs and creating an even exchange, a balanced exchange of energy. Long and deep your breath. This also clears patterns that are connected to pain and suffering that sometimes we lose a connection to because it's become such a subconscious pattern. It can involve our survival triggers, which will have us doing things unconsciously, like eating things unconsciously. So you always want to practice your long, deep breathing. Okay, now we're going to come into, let's listen for a moment, getting some inspiration flowing. Hmm. Okay, we're going to come into a circular breath. Now, here's where it's also a powerful breath for releasing old patterns that may block us from seeing physically the way to navigate or hearing the way to navigate when it comes to taking care of this body. And also, it helps to reset the way we use our mouth in terms of taste buds, in terms of the way we speak, because we're activating the anatomy of the throat, particularly coming to that vagus nerve. The vagus nerve comes into that anatomy. So there's a sense of bringing the energy in, life force and consciousness, in a way that stimulates these very important creative centers that's generating this sound, articulating sounds in just a way where it combines vowels and consonants into words, into sentences that conveys a thought. Wow. There's an intricate organization of nerves, ligaments, muscles, tendons, bones. So you're vibrating these energies when you're bringing in the consciousness and prana, and therefore you're opening up your communication to be in alignment with your soul, in alignment with the flow of your source, rather than the flow of the mind, gathering data from the past and creating meaning out of a betrayal, meaning out of a business deal gone wrong, all of those things. Let's let them go, because it says letting go heartbeat by heartbeat. Yeah? So that means breath by breath for us, right? It says, just the first line, I'm going to read it at the end, but loose the cords of mistakes binding us as we release the strands we hold of others' guilt. Forgive our hidden past, the secret shames, as we consistently forgive what others hide, right? So it's not our business what it is. The revelation of the Son is going to do that, what it is. The Creator, Son of God, Christ consciousness will do that. Our responsibility is to be in alignment with our Creator, and the breath is in alignment with the Creator. So when we focus on the breath, we're in alignment with the Creator. Yeah? Okay. So let's cup our hands in front of our heart throat area, bringing acknowledgement to this area that the heart is communicating, this heart center is communicating that truth of our source. Eyes are closed. And follow me with the breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. One more time. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Hold the breath out a moment. Now inhale through the mouth. Exhale out the nose. Feel your long, deep breath we were doing earlier. Inhale through the mouth. Exhale out the nose. Last time. Inhale through the mouth. Exhale out the nose. Hold the air out. Now we're going to alternate. Inhale through the nose. Exhale mouth. Inhale mouth. Exhale nose. Inhale nose. Long and deep the breath. Exhale mouth. Squeeze the belly button towards the spine. Inhale mouth. Exhale nose. Last one. Inhale nose. Holding the breath at the top. Exhale mouth. Hold the breath out. Inhale mouth. Hold the breath in. And last exhale out the nose. Allow the breath to be normal, in and out the nose. Feel the connection to this conscious breathing. Feel the connection to this love that comes to you no matter what. Think about that pure love as we face disappointment in ourselves, guilt, shame, or if it is dealing with another, a sense of betrayal, anger, or frustration. Just remember, we are navigating our ship on the waters of life. These waves of consciousness and thoughts. We are riding the waves, and we are the captain of the vessel, and ultimately, are we judged in such a way where if we do something wrong, does our breath punish us and look at those liver cells because they're not acting right? Look at them in a wrong way. Or does it continue to bring consciousness and prana so that we can our cells can experience this rejuvenating energy? So let's do a little recap. The way to navigate is to come still. And begin to embody the awareness of the intelligent consciousness of creation and the loving, providing, mothering, life force energy coming to you. You can sense, you can say that guiding father energy and that nourishing mother energy is coming right to you. So if there's any conflict or issues with parents, let's let go of the names and labels and take responsibility to the fact that we are being parented already. Once we have moved beyond the veil into taking care of ourselves. They did what they could do, and now we have been given the gifts to restore balance and harmony, right, to the conflict. So we move through that conflict by first sitting still, and then consciously focusing on the breath so that we can clear the channels of the busy forgetfulness, right? That we can clear the channels, we can clear the cords of mistakes binding us. As we release the strands, letting the breath flow, we start releasing the strands that we hold of others' guilt. Recognizing these strands can be unconscious lineage, the trauma of slavery, the trauma of colonialism, the trauma of capitalism, right? These ideologies and ways of thinking and being that have been pervasive in our mass consciousness as two-leggeds walking on this planet. And if that is the flow, then balancing act of creation is moving us towards that place of peace, moving towards that place of creative beauty emanating from our beings. This ebb and flow. So first we're still, second we connect to the love that is there for us, right? Co-creating with love. And then the experience of the intuition, inspiration, the witnessing of synchronicity can show up. But as a way to navigate with this creative power, this co-creative power, we're saying now there's the chanting, like we chanted tuning in. There's vibrating your being. Number 3, vibrating your being. So stay tuned for an announcement around a Saturday immersion where we can drop into these 3 angels, if you will, these 3, shipmates. That first shipmate, the navigator, the one that knows, the entities or energies that know. So I think that's it for today. I'm going to read the rest of the transliteration of Washbuklan Haubain Wachtehain, Aikana Dafkanan Shwachan al Hayabain. That's saying the 6th line in Aramaic, right? Kind of an English translation of it, considering the metaphysical, the spiritual, and the literal, is let go heartbeat by heartbeat. In English, it's forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. I'm going to read the whole now breakdown of, if you take all of the different nuances of each Aramaic word, what would it look like in English? And this is what this author has done. Loose the cords of mistake binding us as we release the strands we hold of others' guilt. Forgive our hidden past, the secret shames, as we consistently forgive what others hide. Lighten our load of secret debts. And that's when it goes into the unconscious. That's when it goes into our lineage consciousness, when it goes into the subconscious of mass consciousness. This is why you are so important when it comes to navigating, coming into that stillness, embodying the life force and consciousness, receiving that love so that we can give it in ways that you don't do it with the mind. It's in ways now you begin to radiate and you begin to pray for others, right? Because if they're going to create conflict and suffering, there's something going on inside. Lighten our load of secret debts as we relieve others of their need to repay. And then allow them to come to their realization of how to resolve the balance. Yeah? Or resolve the conflict to activate balance. Erase the inner marks of our failures, just as we scrub our hearts of others' faults. Scrubbing our hearts, taking that inhale, exhale. Chanting love or your Creator's name in your way. Habun. Yeah. Allowing. Absorb our frustrated hopes and dreams as we embrace those of others with emptiness. See, that emptiness is infinite, and therefore it doesn't touch you. It comes into that space of love. Yeah? And that embrace is with love. That emptiness is filled by love. And your mind is not conjuring, creating, trying to work it out. So there's less discomfort over here and more abundance. It's not, the mind is not going to figure out the situation based on the way of thinking. Einstein said it. The way we got into a situation, we're not going to think our same way. We're not going to think that same way to get out. Absorb our frustrated hopes and dreams as we embrace those of others with emptiness. Compost, right? Take this energy and bring it to, your conscious earth, your universal earth energy. Compost our inner stolen fruit. We release, forgive us, we release. As we forgive others the spoils of their trespassing. Loose the cords of mistakes binding us as we release the strands we hold of others' guilt. So, dropping into the stillness. If you got it going on, you're on the move, you're in line, got to pay the water bill, you got to do this, just Drop into the breath to promote the stillness. Activate a conscious awareness of that breath. And you can chant inside. No one has to hear you, but vibrate the name of our Creator. Create space for the name to dwell. The ancients would chant the name to clear the space. Maybe you have a name for a spiritual energy or a creative energy of creation of the universe that you can use to awaken the presence of your source within. And if so, do that. If you need help, then reach out to me. AJ at AKAHJACKSON akajackson.com. AJ at akajackson.com. So if you need help with the sounds to generate, the breathing to do in addition to long, deep breathing, we did circular breathing today, in the nose, out the mouth, in the mouth, out the nose. We did spinal flex breathing, moving the spine. And we chanted the sound of creation that set creation in motion. All right. So I'm feeling a bit of the ceremonial energy being with the indigenous people of California and the tribal preserver of Mahutasan. So this is the way they would clear the auric field, clear the energy with this very sacred plant, white sage, that has that ability to clear. It's also used in teas. If a person has headaches or inflammation or insect bites. Thank you for your presence. Let's tune out with our usual vision of world peace around cleaning up the waters and allow those waters to be experienced by every child, every family, every household, pressing the palms together, and then we'll pray out. Thank you, Creator. As we hear the sounds of those children playing in the clean, crystal clear waters of life, we see them being bathed by loving hands, smiles on their faces, care to make sure their eyes do not sting from the soap that they are being cleansed with. Seeing the smiles on the caregivers, seeing the peace in their hearts and the hope of this child growing to experience the power and the presence of love within. The creative awareness of consciousness that ignites them with the solutions to the problems we face. Seeing their household, giving them everything they need to create a safe environment for the children to grow and for the caregivers to be replenished. And then inspiration flows through them so that they consistently tap into the abundant flow of creation to supply their family with what they need, to supply the ones they are caring for with what they need, to grow and blossom into a voice of the soul that sings out love, that sings out consciousness, that sings out co-creative, communal living, so that we generate harmony and balance as we live and walk gently on Mother Earth. We ask this for all our family and all our relations. Thank you, Creator, for guiding us together, bringing our hearts around this fire of love. And we thank you in advance, if it is your will, to guide us to this sacred circle once again. We ask this for all our family and all our relations. Go forth, family. Be your loving self. And say no when you need to. And yes when you need to. Guided by your soul. Till next time. One love, one love.